In this second part of the reflection on brotherhood, I would like to share with you on religious brotherhood and Vita Consecrata. As you all know, after the Second Vatican Council, the Catholic Church largely remained silent on the question of religious brothers in the church, except for few references here and there. And it was for the first time in the Catholic Church, during the time of Pope John Paul II, for the first time, the Catholic Church officially mentioned or spoke about religious brothers, not in a very big way, but in two articles in the document called Vita Consecrata. And subsequently, after many years, again for the first time, recently, though the document was in preparation during Pope Benedict XVI's time, finally it saw the light during Pope Francis' mandate 2 years ago, in a new document called The Identity and Mission of the Religious Brothers in the Church. And this is for the first time a document fully and wholly dedicated to the mission, identity, and the vocation of the religious of the church was brought out by the Catholic Church. Now, this shows that there is gradually a change in the mindset of the church, and the religious brothers begin to occupy some space in the heart and in the mind of the church. So we need to thank God for this gradual realization and growth in the understanding of the church on religious brothers. Now, coming to the document Vita Consecrata, in two articles, number 60 and 61, they have clearly spoken about the religious brothers, their place in the church, their spirituality, their brotherhood dimension, and some issues that need to be sorted out in the coming years. So I would like to place before you some of those elements which this document is trying to highlight on religious brothers. Now, this document says, according to the traditional doctrine of the church, the consecrated life by its nature is neither clerical nor lay. So my question is, what is it then? And second, for this reason, the lay consecration of both men and women constitutes a state which in its profession of the evangelical counsels is complete in itself, by which the church says that a vocation to brotherhood is an vocation complete in itself. You don't need to add anything more. It does not lack anything. It is like a glass of water. A glass is full. If you pour more water, the excess water will flow out. So a brotherhood vocation is complete in itself. It does not lack anything. You don't need to fill it with anything else. It's a very important understanding of the church. And the third, consequently, for the individual and for the church, this vocation to brotherhood is a value in itself. And therefore, we don't need to add more value to it. And the next, this Vita Consecrata is taking off from the Second Vatican Council statement and says, the Synod expressed great esteem for the kind of consecrated life in which religious brothers provide valuable services of various kinds and the ministry. So the Catholic Church is expressing great respect and esteem for this vocation to religious brotherhood. And next, the Church also says that some of the services that the brothers render can be considered as ecclesial ministries, provided these brothers have adequate formation in human, spiritual, theological, pastoral, and professional areas. So, brothers need to have formation in all the areas, not as today, where their entire focus is on the professional area. And there is another clarification this Vita Consecrata has made is, according to the terminology currently in use, institutes, by reason of their founders' design or by legitimate tradition, have a character and purpose which do not entail the exercise of holy orders, are called lay institutes. But from now on, these will not be called as lay institutes. These will be known as religious institutes. The religious nature of their vocation and of the institute is sufficiently expressed when we say these are religious institutes and not lay institutes as it used to be before. And another important point the Vita Consecrata raises is the term brotherhood suggests a rich spirituality. But unfortunately, this document did not go elaborate on this theme. What are the characteristics of this rich spirituality and brotherhood? So it is left to you, brothers, and we to define, to elaborate the richness of this brotherhood spirituality. And a very deep theological insights this Vita Consecrata has explored further when they explain that religious brothers are called to be brothers of Christ, deeply united with Him, the firstborn among many brothers, and they are brothers to one another in mutual love and working together in the church. They are brothers to everyone in their witness to Christ's love for all, especially brothers to the least, to the lowliest, the neediest, and finally, they are brothers for a greater brotherhood in the church. And therefore, the religious brothers are brothers of Christ. They are brothers to one another. They are brothers to everyone, especially the poorest and the lowliest. And they are brothers for a greater brotherhood in the church. So very beautiful. And there is another important element this Vita Consecrata document has highlighted is, especially when it talks about brothers, religious brothers who live in clerical orders. They say, by living in a special way, this aspect of Christian and consecrated life, religious brothers, especially in clerical institutes or mixed institutes, are an effective reminder to religious priests themselves of the fundamental dimension of brotherhood in Christ. This is very beautiful. So, when a religious priest in his congregation, every time when he encounters a brother, that brother reminds this priest of the fundamental brotherhood dimension of Jesus Christ. And this is very beautiful. And therefore, in every congregation of religious brothers, every brother is a reminder to everyone of the brotherhood dimension of Christ, because Jesus is our eldest brother. And therefore, it is very important for all of us to highlight this brotherhood dimension of Christ. In Matthew 23 verse 8, when Jesus said, "Call no one as Father on earth, call no one as teacher on earth. You have only one teacher, and you are all brothers." Let us study this Vita Consecrata, especially the articles 60 and 61, and unearth, bring out the beautiful brotherhood dimensions of the spirituality and the brotherhood dimension of Christ. Thank you.